Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Logitech G Pro Hero, G305, G203, and the old G Pro. I don't have the old G Pro right now, so we're just going to pretend that this box is it. Also, the G203 is called the G102 in some parts of the world, and the G305 is called the G304. But they're the exact same mouse, it's just the name. For the weight, the G Pros and the black G203 weigh about 84 grams, and the white G203 weighs about 86. The G305 weight depends on what kind of battery you use. With a regular AA battery, it weighs about 97 grams. With a lithium AA, it weighs about 89. With a lithium AAA with a converter, it weighs about 84 grams. And with a lithium AAA with some tinfoil, it weighs about 82 grams. The top cover weighs about 7 grams and you can play without it. The weight on these three feel perfectly balanced, but on the G305 it feels slightly back heavy. For the sensors, I'm not going to go into too much detail because in terms of performance, they're all very similar. Even when comparing them directly side by side, it's hard to tell a difference. They're all extremely good and I wouldn't base your decision off the sensor. The mouse feet are the same on the G Pros and the G203, but on the G305 they're shaped a little differently and from my experience, it feels a little rougher. The biggest differences between these mice are the buttons and the cable. The left and right buttons on the old G Pro and G203 are light and tactile. Here's a sound test. They're kind of similar to the G403, but a little less tactile. The G Pro Hero buttons are extremely light and fast. They're kind of similar to the Death Adder Elite, but not as mushy. The side buttons are the same on these three, and they're good. The G305, however, has really bad side buttons. They have pre-travel, they're mushy, and they feel really cheap and low quality. They're still usable, but nowhere near as good as the others. The left and right buttons are a little stiffer than the others, and they feel decent. The scroll wheel is the same on all of them, but the scrolling and the scroll wheel click is a little different on each one. The one on my G Pro Hero is hard to click. The scrolling on this G305 feels rough, but on this one it feels fine, and both of my G203s are good. For the cables, the black G203 uses a light and flexible rubber cable that I barely notice when playing. It's probably the best rubber cable I've seen on a mouse. The cable on the white one, which is on my G302 right now, is a slightly different cable that's a little heavier and a little less flexible, but it's still good. The G Pro Hero cable is really thin, but it's not as flexible, and the material has some grip to it, which isn't good for a mouse cable because it drags on your mouse pad. Take a look at how easily the G203 glides on the pad. The Hero cable drags a little bit, which I can notice when playing. The old G Pro has the worst cable out of all of them. Here's my G403 cable, which I think is the same cable, and as you can see, it's a thick and stiff braided cable that drags on your mouse pad and is annoying when playing. Overall, in my opinion, the G203 is the best overall because it has the best cable, really good buttons, the best scroll wheel from my experience, and it's the cheapest. The white one has a slightly worse cable and weighs a couple more grams, but other than that, they're the same. If you want wireless, then obviously go for the G305. Just know that the buttons aren't as good, especially the side buttons, and if you want to get the weight down, you have to buy lithium batteries. Also, the weight balance is a little off and the overall build quality feels worse than the others. Other than that, it's a great option. The G Pro Hero is great for mobile players or people who want really light and fast clicks. The cable is slightly worse than the G203, but it's still decent. The old G Pro is still a good option if you don't mind the cable or you're willing to replace it. So that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate if you left a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions or comments, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.